Asan, and with me is my esteemed championship Premier League number one contender colleague, Nat McCarthy. I'm on fire, Jones.
I am on fire. I had to put myself out for this interview because the fire
Good
was
call.
spreading, and I didn't want to call the fire department. They've been called to my house too many times. So
He's up on the hairspray, mate. He's up on the hairspray.
that's what they said last
Probably.
time. Really, that was their main point of concern. You know that hairspray is highly flammable and toxic. Shouldn't be using it. And I said, but I look good. And they said, no, what you're going to look is you're going to look dead. And
And speaking of dead, no, actually, speaking on fire, Nat, tell us why we tell us what we're going to be doing today.
well, we're going to be talking about Mario Strikers, specifically the playtest that was released, First Kick. We actually participated in said playtest, and we're here to give you both our thoughts. And Wasan has graciously developed a highlight reel of all our exquisite playmaking.
You want to go into the you want to get into the role of it and call it like calling a football match? We'll go in and out of it.
We'll
How's
go.
that?
I think, yeah. I don't think I can maintain the bit of like of an English Premier League commentator for 15 minutes straight.
Yeah.
But
No,
I
agreed,
like this
agreed.
is where I kind of hope for like if only we could have done this live and it would have just been completely authentic. We would have commentated as it was happening regardless. You know what I mean? But yeah, here's our
there'd be a
post.
lot of swear words in there.
Have to edit them out. A lot of like the entirety of the commentary would just be beeping noises. Yeah.
Of course. So, shall we begin? So now we're starting up the game. I'm not going to show you Nat's ID for privacy purposes. Too many ladies. So we're the Cyclones this time, the black ones, and I'm 5 and Nat is 7. So
I found was confusing, like because the other two numbers 6 and 8, or 6 and 4, maybe 6 and 8, rather, on our team would be reserved for other players.
yeah,
So you're supposed to play this with one player controlling one character on a 4-man team. But yeah, the passing was pretty solid. We did the tutorial just before we started. I don't know how I got that goal. That was like
beautiful.
And the celebrations are brilliant as well.
just like an English footballer. Terrible breath.
We got the strike orb. I think I attempt to use it, but I pressed the wrong buttons at the wrong time.
Yeah.
But you know,
press A at this point. This is one of my favorites. Favorite strike animations.
This is one of your favorites? Yeah, Rosalina's is pretty
One of
cool. And the nice Super Mario Galaxy nod there as well. That's cool.
Right.
But they forgot to press A, and then the ball went through. Oh, I remember this one. Why didn't they do this?
Peach is like, oh no. And the guitar riff in the background, man. It's so, I love it. I really, really love this thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like, some people were just saying this is not like Nintendo's gonna release like an incomplete game that's not gonna work, and like I feel like it couldn't be further. Like the only thing that people are upset about is the lack of character roster, really, which they're gonna update. So
yeah, I mean,
and that was
we see
another
the
goal
same
by
kind of
our
thing with golf and tennis. That was a brilliant goal. Look at that. You loaded it up, curved that shot.
You gotta get the curve. Yeah.
I mean, we've seen character rosters get updated in the other sports games. It hasn't been an issue. Mario Tennis, Mario Golf, they were all called incomplete, and they got updated. Of course, we ran out the clock. The Rockets scored nothing. We win 4-0. You're wondering, where are the other 3 goals that happened? Keep in mind that whenever you do a strike goal and it succeeds, it counts as 2.
So yeah, when you score on that awesome animation, that's 2 goals. Yeah.
Because it's
But
so
yeah,
powerful. Look at you wind up that kick.
yeah,
He
man.
had no
It's
chance.
like, say, you can pass. Like in terms of what you can do in this game, like you can pass, you can lob pass, you can do 1-2s with passing and shooting.
You can
And
pass
you can wind
to
up like
throw
that.
it in the generator.
And then you have to get the
So
strike
that was
orb, and then you do the wind up, and you get the strike animation. Yeah.
I absolutely loved how you get to select your costume and then the play field that you want. This is our second match, and I think which team are we in this one now?
We were red. We were the Rockets.
Yeah, we're the Rockets. This is one of my favorite matches, and you'll see why. Because in terms of this, I pass it to you, and it's just me and you.
Oh,
And
yes,
boom.
that was fantastic. The volley off the goalkeeper.
Volley off the goalkeeper, bicycle kick, fantastic
It's
pass.
genius. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
One of the most annoying dances in history. Look at
It's
that.
like whenever Luigi celebrates, you're always just a bit upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This I cut this in here because this is when things got a little heated and chaotic. You'll see them score soon too. I know. Oh, again, that's
Another
you.
one too. Yeah, that's great.
Quick pass. We deked out the goalkeeper. He thought I was gonna shoot. You quickly took advantage. You notice he's paying attention to him. Boom! He didn't see Nat coming.
Yeah. It's an easy way to kind of abuse the AI, I guess. Yeah. That was one of my favorite goals.
Just stood there for the rebound, headed it in. He didn't even move. I didn't even move, man. I just stood there. What? Boom! I knew he was coming back. Boom! They tackled me too late.
Just waiting.
And you got tackled by the goalie, which is why I had that opening.
Mm-hmm.
We have
and the Warriors
orb
strike
here.
up.
This is me. I think I did this one.
And
I
you know
love
what's coming. You know it's Warriors.
So a perfect strike when you get it into those blue areas, they're unstoppable.
Yeah.
They're really unstoppable.
And I love these, like,
silly is that?
it's almost like they didn't really have to add these in, but those little animations where the other team's angry or your team feels like it's doing well and stuff like that.
So good.
It gives that little extra. Oh, and that's another curve, boy. I didn't realize we scored 6. I thought this is the one where it was more even.
No,
You know,
this
there
is
was that
the
one
one where
where
we
we-
annihilated the other team.
But it's like, Jesus Christ, I love getting those kind of curves in. That's like from the other side of the field, and that's like,
And
fantastic.
You'll get that with Waluigi and Luigi because they're both technical characters, and even Rosalina to an extent.
Yeah.
Again, we ran out the clock, 6-0. This was one of our best games.
Mhm.
Just obliterated the other team. And of course, my favorite was bicycle kick in and the headbutt. I love that headbutt.
That was
just
yeah.
for-
That was one of the greatest moments of my life, and I didn't even perform it. Yeah.
Look at goalkeeper tackles you. I already threw it in. It was just a simple cinch, easy.
And the 1-2s, yeah. It's like it's so
Boom.
satisfying. Like, and we forget about it. Like, there's obviously items. You see that red shell flying off there. And we
we'll
constantly
get
forgot
to
to
the
use items just because we were so focused on making like primo shots.
It's just at this point, like I think we were playing a lot of like newbies or kids because things were just way too easy. The next matchup, we actually faced somebody, a team that wanted to rematch us. So we have 2 matches back to back with these guys, and these guys were actually really challenging. The first one we win, and then the second one you'll see what happens, and that'll be our last match, I think. Yeah, this is the one they were a little challenging, and they challenged us again. And I've got some chaotic moments in here where all items are out and everybody's dying. So right off the bat,
Ooh. So we are green, and we've subbed out Donkey Kong for Wario.
Yeah.
Our team primarily consisted of Waluigi, Wario, Rosalina, and Luigi. But then we decided we saw Donkey Kong in another game, and he
fantastic
absolutely
goal.
crushed.
Sorry to cut it.
Oh, sorry, that was a good goal. Wait, let's watch the replay. Oh yeah, the immediate rebound. That was fantastic. Yeah,
walked it in, baby. Easy.
Oh, and then they immediately score. And I feel like height is like really important in this game. Like if you're much higher than the goalkeeper, you most likely score.
Well, and defense plays a part. If your players are off the field of your half, the chances of a person scoring are quite high. As players, you're supposed to tackle and help out the goalie. You get knocked out in this one, I think. No, you actually do it.
Yeah, so you can tackle even if the player you're trying to tackle is not holding the ball, then you can completely take them out. You can either do just a normal tackle, which stuns them for a little bit, or a fully charged tackle, which pretty much takes them out for, I don't know, at least 5 seconds.
So in the field, everyone's frozen thanks to your super.
Yeah, and the supers do affect other players as well.
So notice Mario didn't do the perfect button mash. He didn't get it right on the blue. So now this means that we can stop his striker goal, his perfect strike. We get a button option to prompt, and if we're successful, the goal doesn't go up. This is where chaos ensues, and basically we're using our brawlers, and they're using their brawlers to just bash us against the goal.
And you see this back and forth with items as well. It's just crazy.
The goalie does the best job here. He deflects 4 goals once while lying down.
And that almost went in, really.
Post.
They finally get one. Yeah, but
a valiant effort though.
It was a great effort. But it's just like I made the mistake of just relying on the goalie too much when I realized, wait, I can control.
Like that. I could walk it in.
You can actually control
it's
defenders.
Like, where's the defense?
Where is the defense? Yeah. That was a terrible
Notice that we did a loaded up strike. The goalie gets like a little dazed. He gets stunned, and then you can walk in. With 17 seconds left.
Ooh.
Nat, you and I did our patented magic.
I love the lobs, like the crazy 1-2 lobs. It's nuts.
Notice the character animation too. Luigi's like constantly staring at Waluigi. He's like, when are you gonna pass it, bro? 12 seconds left in the game, and Nat does the impossible. He passes it to himself and scores. That was a 3 Nat play.
Thank you.
Possibly one of my favorites. Because rebound, and then you just position yourself again, and then right between Peach and the goal.
Gotta slot it in, yeah.
I thought that was one of my favorite goals, Nat. That was my favorite goal.
I love the immediate, like, that was a smart play. When 6 seconds to go, they just immediately throw out the shell and go through the shell.
Yeah. Throw all the items out, try to get them. We win. Oh my god. In the last 30 seconds, we scored 2 goals. So these are the guys that they're like, okay, we want to challenge you again. Everybody we played didn't want a rematch. And it's not like we were hustling them. We did lose a couple of matches, but they weren't fun to watch, so I didn't put them in this highlight reel. Next match.
Yeah. There's a clear difference between like teams that are coordinated and know what they're doing, and teams that maybe the players don't know each other. And yeah, I think you mentioned that the first time you played this game, right? When you did the first play test.
Yeah. Because
you were just by yourself, and you, like, the guy you were with, you couldn't coordinate together, and
I couldn't.
It was really difficult.
Terrible. So I think this is one of those games where you need 2 players on each switch. Connect with online another buddy with somebody. 4 players basically is what I want to say. We're in match 2 of these guys, and right off the bat. I think that was you, Nat.
Yes.
That was your
So there was, because we'd like stalled them in our half so much with tackles and whatnot. They couldn't get to Waluigi in time. And so I just lined it up. I just danced around a bit and lined up a good curve. And yeah.
So at this point, the game takes on a whole different meaning because not to bore anybody, but this is the only goal that ever gets that ever happens. What you're gonna see is how crazy this game can get. You're seeing like DK as a brawler just shoving everybody into the wire fence. It had DK and Bowser, and he was bashing everyone against there.
It was nuts.
You see items pop up now. Mushroom gives you a bit of speed. Shells are how they work, just like how you'd imagine them. Bombs, same deal. And this is when everybody just starts unleashing. I thought this was pretty successful. You had a good shot at this one.
Yeah, I had enough time. It's just I couldn't. I got confused between like A and B and which one I was supposed to press with the Hyper Strike. So I never actually got like the first Hyper Strike I did. I managed to get the blues, and then subsequent Hyper Strikes I just never ended up getting the blue area.
I think you're pressing B. Like, why doesn't it work?
And you see just like the crazy elements, just the items, stuff like that. So it's just nuts.
8 seconds left in the game. We try another, they run for the strike orb. It gives us a chance to like score another goal, but we just weren't successful. But that's okay. It was 1-0. And this is actually where the playtest ended. It's been it was almost an hour of playing games with people online.
And that's it. Yeah.
Wow, what a game. Matt, give me your thoughts on it. Give me your thoughts on this game.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I loved it. Like, it was just so much fun. And there's enough elements to kind of keep you on your toes. Like, you've got not only obviously passing, 1-2 passing, lob passing, chip passing rather. And they have standardized all the words. I noticed, like, they haven't really used them as you would use them in football. Like, they don't say chip, they say lob. They don't say 1-2, they say what do they call 1-2 passing?
I think
like
it's
one
like
touch passing.
One touch something,
so they've kind of standardized the language a bit as well, which is kind of not necessarily strange, but maybe they're trying to make it a little bit more accessible to people who haven't played soccer. But yeah, it is a whole lot of fun. Like, there's a ton of elements, and so much so that you pretty much forget about items. At least in our case, we did until the very end. We kind of forgot a lot about items.
I mean, we didn't use items one, and second thing, if you notice, we haven't used some of the more advanced techniques. We didn't. We're not good enough for that yet, like such as team tackle. We weren't even doing that. There's so many elements to this sort of footballish game of chess. I'm amazed that when people say it's such a hollow, it's not a hollow game. Our strategy, you can choose a strategy. Our strategy was always have our brawlers take out their technique guys and to always do 1-touch passing and then goal. And that worked for us up until a certain point where we met our match and we saw we were countered by people using items. And then we were countered again by people that use their brawlers as strikers. Because if you have like a big guy like Bowser walking through the field, it's not easy to tackle him.
Yeah, like the normal tackle just won't cut it. He'll just keep the ball, stand still.
So, and then it went into like when we started doing too much tackles, the other team countered again with like blind passes. So they would just lob the ball to the other side of the field, and they'd have a guy waiting there and just quickly intercept, and then boom.
So you really, it's about like, definitely where you put your people. Like, it's positioning is probably the most important aspect of the game. And if you spend too much time getting all your players to tackle other players and you miss those tackles, then there's going to be an errant like striker on the other side of the field ready to score a goal, right? Yeah, so positioning seems to be the key point. But yeah, the 1-2 passes, like if you can get those down, that's nuts. And I remember there was a team that we lost to, I think they were the blue team, and they were just doing like insanely fast 1-2 lob passes up the field, and it was just crazy, nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, so many elements. Like you can dodge tackles as well with R. Apparently.
Yeah, I tried doing that.
You did. I did notice you did do a few dodges there. That was good. And you can sprint as well, which is useful, obviously, to get to the ball quicker.
Yeah.
But it's nice. It is satisfying when the opponent gets the ball and you just line up an item and you just take them out immediately. But yeah, there are so many elements to this game. I don't, and I've heard criticism, like you said, of like people saying it being unfinished and it's not going to be like. It's ready. Like it's not even released, and it's ready to go, and it's really good.
Comes out next week. We've had a lot of playtests online stuff. I mean, this past year and the year before. I would say this is probably the most polished online playtest we've had from Nintendo. Mm-hmm. There was very few hiccups. The controls, mechanics, graphics, everything seems super on point. And like you said, there's elements in this game that aren't necessarily, you don't need them, but they're there. And when you look at them, you sort of appreciate the extra mile the developers have gone into, such as the opposing team's animation when you score a goal, or just how everybody reacts on the field, polygonal crowd work in the background, the two different stadiums. There's just so many elements. I mean, we're not stuck with the old iteration where it's just Kremlins and you. It's like you have an all-star cast as your team.
And I feel like there's enough variation in the characters that are there that you can like kind of mix up teams really well. Like we saw a team, I think there was a team with 2 Toads. And stuff like that. And
they were killers, man. They destroyed
they were nuts.
us.
Yeah. That was the blue team, the dark blue team I mentioned, with the crazy lob skills. Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be really exciting. We're really excited to make our own league.
GPX and, league challenges.
We'll see you out there.
Bitter defeat. Calling you out, everybody. You know what's funny? Imagine if us as GPX we challenged like IGN, Game Explain,
and we won.
Like journalists in the gaming industry. I want to really wreck all of them. Kotaku. That's not even a question. Kotaku would be just protesting about unfairnesses in this soccer game. I don't know what.
Why are there no red cards? Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you haven't noticed yet, our vendetta is to take down both IGN and Kotaku. Kotaku, obviously, for reasons why they always post just ridiculous, benign articles that, like, why do you have that take? It makes no sense. And IGN,
they do a lot of spoiler casts, right?
And true,
I remember there was like a huge spoiler for Batman Arkham Knight. Something happens to one of the characters, and it's supposed to be a hallucination. Batman's hallucinating. And there was an actual article on Kotaku. Oh my god, I can't believe they did this in Batman Arkham Knight. This is effed up. And I had played beyond that moment, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? What are you posting? Why is this an article on Kotaku?
Alright, so the takeaway is IGN, Kotaku, if you want to get beat up real bad, we'll see you in the parking lot to play some soccer.
Yeah. Mario Strikers. Coming out on the 10th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 4 days, I believe. Yeah, so
4 days. Nat, I gotta say, I played a lot of games with you. We play a lot of Smash Brothers. We play a lot of like now soccer, Borderlands, and almost everything on Switch. This was a real treat.
This was so much fun.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if you have good friends that you play games with, any game at all, just like get them to play Mario Strikers with you. That's when this game really works. When you have good friends that know your play style, you know their play style, and you can coordinate. And my God, is this game amazing? And we went on a tirade, defeating noobs all across Nintendo's online.
All across Japan, yeah.
Yeah, all across Japan. Being the greatest warrior team to ever have existed.
And we didn't even mention in the playtest they didn't opt in gear, so that will be a feature that will come into the actual game. Is the ability to have gear.
There's so many elements that will be included in this game. Gear, customizations, and we know that we're gonna definitely get a new roster of characters in there.
Sure, but that's been we're gonna have to cut us off quite quickly because we've only got 1 minute left. That's been Strikers. Hope you enjoy it, and hope you've enjoyed our commentary. I've been Nat.
I've been Hassan.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Take care.